Hello, can I start the session? Okay, let's start the session. Hi there, this is Dr. Nisha, your trainer for today. And today we are doing English SAT paper in which we are doing one passage. So let's start it. Okay, let's go through the guidelines. It's a four-step method. What we have to do, step one says, you have to read the blurb. Blurb is a short description about a book. It can be about any product or it can be about a movie, any review or any short description. So we have to read the given passage first. This is about reading. So step one is reading. Step two says attack the questions. Now we have to look at the questions given, followed by the passage, and understand them. What are they? And what can we do there? Just leave a trail in the margins for lines and paragraphs. So we have to just relate that this question like is taken from or depends upon what paragraph or what lines given in the passage. Step 3 says that you have to skim and take quick notes. As I told you in my previous session, there are three types of readings: skimming, scanning, and extensive reading. So skimming means when you read quickly in one go just to assess the idea of the passage, just to get the crux of the passage, what it is all about. So this is step 3 where you'll do skimming. Now, then comes answering the questions or looking for the answers for the questions given. Okay, let's start the passage. And first understand the passage in totality from all dimensions, from every aspect, looking at its tone, its purpose, its structure, and everything. Then we'll be doing the questions. Okay, it says this passage is adapted from Saki, the Short's Metaclune method, originally published in the year 1911. So this is like told that from what book or this passage has been taken or adapted. It was originally published in what year? 1911. Now the passage says, Lady Carlotta stepped out on the platform of the small wayside station and took a turn or two up and down its uninteresting length to kill time till the train should be pleased to proceed on its way. The sentence is complete now. So we understand that it is about Lady Carlotta, who is the main character in the passage. And what is the situation? What is the scenario or the context here? It says that it is about a place which is a railway station. Lady Carlotta is waiting for a train probably, and she is walking or taking a stroll there. Taking a stroll means just moving to and fro and covering some distance. Taking a turn. This is what it means, right? So it is about Lady Carlotta. This is the main character. Then in the roadway beyond, she saw a horse struggling with a more than ample load. Then she sees a horse who is struggling, like who is trying to manage with the load that is on him. And this load is ample load. Ample means it's large in size, which is not easy to carry for the horse. And a carter of the sort, carter means the person who has the horse, who's working for him. So he is a kind of a master for the horse. And a carter of the sort that seems to bear a sullen hatred against the animal that helps him to earn a living. So this carter, this man, has hatred for this animal. Why? Because he is not being affectionate with this animal, because he is carrying a lot of load and he is least bothered about the load. Wayside station means which is near the road, or it can be said a roadside station. Now, Lady Carlotta promptly betook her to the roadway and put rather a different complexion on the struggle. Now, what happens? Lady Carlotta now reaches the side where the horse is walking or struggling with the load carriage. Now, she takes a step forward and gets into all this situation or the scenario. Certain of her acquaintances were wont to give her plentiful admonition as to the undesirability of interfering on behalf of a distressed animal, such interference being none of her business. Acquaintances means friends, relatives, those people who are known to Lady Carlotta. Now, they are used to know that she has this habit of getting into other people's affairs, or she steps into struggles or matters where there is none of her business, means she is not any of the requirement there. So now, because the horse is struggling, so Lady Carlotta now thinks that how can she sort it out or help the animal or solve the situation. It's a long passage, you can see. So what the criteria says that you have to read 10 lines, 10 to 15 lines, and every 10 lines must be given one small note. You can see here, we are preparing notes side by side. This is about these 5 to 10 lines that Lady Carlotta is standing at the station, and she sees a horse who is being mistreated by his master, by the carter. Okay. So this way you have to keep making the notes for every short paragraph or some lines. Only once had she put the doctrine of non-interference into practice, means she has now put the doctrine. Doctrine means principle. She has now put it into practice, means she is practical now. She's working on that principle where of non-interference, where she should not interfere, but she is interfering. When one of its most eloquent exponents had been besieged for nearly 3 hours in a small and extremely uncomfortable May tree by an angry boar pig, while Lady Carlotta on the other side of the fence had proceeded with the watercolor sketch she was engaged on and refused to interfere between the beau and his prisoner. So long passage with a long sentence event. It's a long sentence from only to prisoner. Okay. So what is happening in these lines? Now she is trying to go toward the bear, toward the boar pig, which means a big or large sized pig, male pig. She is trying to reach there, and she is now getting into her practice of interference, where she interferes into others people matters. Most eloquent means those people, exponent means supporters, who are supporters, and those who are good orators, good speakers. Besieged means when they are surrounded by. So who's surrounded by here? This big pig. While on the other side of the fence means she was a little distant from that pig. Lady Carlotta was standing at a distance. Now she has proceeded toward this pig and the prisoner just to sort the matter out. So after taking this note, okay, horse is being mistreated. Now she gets into a matter where she's interfering. Now comes the next event of the passage. It says, it is to be feared that she lost the friendship of the ultimately rescued lady. On this occasion, she merely lost the train, which gave way to the first sign of impatience it had shown throughout the journey, and steamed off with her. Now, what is happening? During all this event, she misses her train. Lady Carlotta misses her train. Now, she bore the desertion with philosophical indifference. Her friends and relations were thoroughly well used to the fact of her struggle, of her luggage arriving without her. Now, they all know that Lady Carlotta's people who are in the know-how of her, they know that she has missed her train and luggage will be there where she is not responsible or carrying the luggage with her. So this is the kind of trait we have come to know about Lady Carlotta. And she has left the train or she has missed the train. Train has left, but she has missed the train. Now the situation again forwards. It says she wired a vague non-committal message to her destination to say that she was coming on by another train. Now she has messaged to the person where she was heading for, to the location or to the owners, that she has missed her train and she'll be coming by another train. So this is a message she has sent. Before she had time to think what her next move might be, she was confronted by an imposingly attired lady who seemed to be taking a prolonged mental inventory of her clothes and looks. Now, what comes? So far, we have just seen one character in the story or the passage, Lady Carlotta. Now comes another character, another lady who comes up and meets Lady Carlotta. So before Lady Carlotta thinks for her next step to take, what should she do now when she has missed her train and when she is like also missing her luggage? So what she should do? She now meets another lady who is dressed up or decked up with all the attire, which is so striking, striking in look, striking in nature, imposingly attired lady, right? Okay. You must be Miss Hope, the governess I have come to meet. Now, this lady who has now come up, she says to Miss Carlotta, you must be Miss Hope, the governess I have come to meet. So, this new lady, she has come to meet her governess she was looking for, and she is naming Miss Carlotta as Miss Hope in a tone that admitted of very little argument. Okay, so there's new woman that has come to meet Miss Carlotta. So this is new woman. Note is already made here. Very well, I must, said Lady Carlotta to herself with dangerous meekness. So Lady Carlotta didn't say anything to the new lady when she said, or she named her as Miss Hope, and she just answered by saying, "Okay, I am what I am. I must be Miss Hope only." But she did not reject her opinion or statement. Moving forward with the passage. I am Miss Quabal, continued the lady, and where, praise your luggage. Now, Miss Quabal. So, this new lady's name is Miss Quabal. Okay, this is Miss Quabal, this new lady. Now, she's asking Miss Carlotta, where's your luggage? Now, what she gets in response, it's gone astray, said the alleged governess, falling in with the excellent rule of life that the absent are always to blame. The luggage had, in point of fact, behaved with perfect correctitude. Now, when Miss Quabal questioned where the luggage is, Miss Carlot answers, it has gone astray, means it's lost somewhere on the way, and she is not known about the luggage or its location. And what she is complaining for this, that behaved with perfect correctitude. Now she has just used this strategy. What is absent, she can make anything or any story about it. So what is absent here? The luggage is absent. So she can say somebody picked up a luggage, or somebody didn't care about the luggage, or staff over the platform or over the railway station were not like that, like watchful for the luggage that has been lost. So all this story she might have cooked, or she can say about. Okay, I've just telegraphed about it, she added. Now she is telling Miss Quabal that she has also messaged about it to the concerned authorities. She added with a nearer approach to truth, just to make look that matter that she has stated a little true. How provoking, said Miss Quabal. Provoking means how irritating it is. You know, losing your luggage on the way, it's quite irritating. These railway compartments, sorry, these railway companies are so careless. However, my maid can led you for the night, and she led the way to her car. Now, Miss Quabal is assuring Miss Lady Carlotta that if you have lost your luggage, it means you don't have any belongings that you were carrying. You don't have any belongings with yourself. So my maid is there. She can help you with the requirement of the things. And now they are leading to the car for her house. For whose house? Miss Quabal's house. So this is what is happening in this passage, in these lines, that Miss Quabal is helping Miss Lady Carlotta, and in this she was giving one blame. So everything is given here. Lies. She's lying. She's not saying anything true. She's lying here. Now she's putting one blame which is incorrect, wrong blame. So notes are already done. During the drive to the Quabal mansion, Mansion means a big house. Lady Carlotta was impressively introduced to the nature of the charge that had been thrust upon her. Nature of the charge means when she was the governess for the house or for Miss Quabal's family. So she is being given one charge. Charge means responsibility. There's one responsibility that she has to take care of. That had been thrust upon her. She learned that Claude and Wilfred were delicate, sensitive people, young people, that Irene had the artistic temperament highly developed, and that Viola was something or other as of a mold equally commonplace among children of that class and type in the 20th century. So this is passage about Miss Quabal's family. So she is now introducing her children. So there are four children. Names are Claude, Wilfred, Viola, and Irene. So these are four children that Miss Quabal has. Now she has to take care of these children who Lady Carlotta. And what all these children are like, their nature. Their nature is like the people of the 20th century, right? They have artistic temperament, they are delicate. So all these are the nature or the traits of those children. Okay. I wish them not only to be taught, said Miss Quabal. Now Miss Quabal is saying, I don't want my children only to be taught. Means no bookish language is not my priority. Your teachings, your things that you impart training on should go beyond the learning. It should be interactive. It should be quite knowledgeable. So she is mentioning what she is looking for in Miss Carlotta teachings, but interested in what they learn. So they shouldn't be taught, they should also be interested. Who? The children. In their history lessons, for instance, you must try to make them feel that they are being introduced to the life stories of men and women who really lived. So when it comes to teach history, Ms. Quabal is saying that you should let them learn history in a way where they should learn about real men and women who lived at one point. They should not only be mugging up the answers or the episodes or dates or events, because she wants an interactive lesson there. She doesn't want only like teaching to be purely or just book centered. She wants interactive sessions for her children. Okay. Not merely committing a mass of names and dates to memory, right? French, of course. I shall expect you to talk at meal time several days in a week. So all this is being said by Miss Quabal, who is guiding Miss Lady Carlotta to let her know what she should be doing as a responsibility as a governess for her children. So she's also saying, besides history, what she should teach, she should also teach French, which when should she take French classes, or when should she speak French? At meal times, means the times when they sit for their lunches and dinners. So this is said by Miss Quabal. I shall talk French 4 days of the week and Russian in the remaining 3. So this is said by Lady Carlotta, that she will be speaking French for 4 days in a week and the other language, Russian, in the remaining 3 days. Okay. Russian, my dear Miss Ho, no one in the house speaks or understands Russian. So when she says, Miss Carlotta says that I'll be teaching French and Russian, to her amazement, Miss Quabal says, we do not speak Russian. Nobody in the family speaks Russian. Now, what does she say? Lady Carlotta, she says, that will not embarrass me in the least. Okay, if nobody speaks Russian in the family, I don't have any constraints about it. I'll still teach Russian, or I'll still speak Russian. This is her response. Okay. Okay, we have another paragraph. Miss Quabal, to use a colloquial expression, was knocked off her perch. Miss Quabal, to use a colloquial expression means informal way. In an informal way, now she says something. She was one of those imperfectly self-assured individuals who are magnificent and autocratic. as long as they are not seriously opposed. Autocratic means dominating. Miss Quabal is also dominating, and she's among those women who are dominating until they are opposed. Means if somebody opposes them or just stands against their opinion, till that time they look completely dominating, domineering. The least show of unexpected resistance goes a long way towards rendering them cowed and apologetic. So this is when resistance comes from some other people, then they try to mellow down their tone or become soft. When the new governors failed to express wondering admiration of the large, newly purchased and expensive car, and lightly alluded to the superior advantages of one or two makes which had just been put on the market, the discomfiture of her patroness became almost abject. Now, see this episode. Here, it is being described that when this new governess, who is this new governess? Lady Carlotta. When this Lady Carlotta didn't admire the car, the expensive car, big car she sat in, or the new, illuminated house, well-maintained mansion, if she didn't mention anything of these two things, Miss Quaval is put on a setback. Why is she not praising my things? So this is a kind of a nature that the writer is talking about. Discomfiture means this is making her feel uneasy and almost abject. So this was quite vivid from her face. Her feelings were those which might have animated a general of ancient warfaring days on beholding his heaviest battle elephant ignominiously driven off the field by slingers and javelin throwers. See the comparison. The author is now comparing Miss Quabal's reaction to somebody who's failing on the battlefield. Now, he says it shows when Lady Carlotta didn't praise, appreciate her things, her car, her mansion, and other things. Now she feels as if she has been assaulted by javelin throwers, slingers, and her elephant who has to win the war has been driven off, taken off, or attacked by these opponents. So this is the description where the reaction of Miss Quabal is being explained. Okay, so we have understood this passage and we have taken the notes for every 10 to 20 lines, which are here. What is happening in every passage, we have taken the notes now. Now we'll be proceeding with the questions. So you have understood the whole passage. It is about Lady Carlotta, who's been mistaken by Miss Quaval, who takes her identity to be one governess, who's coming for her family, for her children, to teach subjects and languages. Now, this is in short, but we'll move further with the questions. Which choice best summarizes the passage? We have the right answer. So we'll first look at the right answer. A woman does not correct a stranger who mistakes her for someone else. Can we say this? Yes, because here Lady Carlotta is being mistaken. She was mistaken by Miss Quaban as one governess, Miss Hope. She also named that. And where it is in these lines 26 to 29, 33 to 34, 39 to 40. So we'll reach these lines. 26 to 29. Okay. And 39 to 40. Okay. See, Carlotta herself. So we know that, yeah, she has been mistaken. See, here it is written. You must be Miss Hope, the governess I have come to meet. And she answers, yes, I must, said Lady Carlotta to herself. So it is about the identity being mistaken. So we know that this is the right answer. And where it is in these lines. That also we have found. Now look at the other options. If they hold any value or if they also look right or are right. A woman weighs the positive and negative aspects of accepting a new job. No, she is not talking about, the author is not talking about the acceptance or rejection of the new job. New job means role of the governess. A woman impersonates someone else to seek revenge on an acquaintance. No, she is not knowingly trying to be Miss Hope. Lady Carlotta is not doing anything knowingly, so she is not Impersonating means to be like somebody. Now, D says a woman takes an immediate dislike to her new employer. This is not the scenario where she is disliking her employer. Who is the employer? Miss Quabal. She is the employer. Is she disliking because of no reason, or is she showing any dislike for her? No. So we will not mark them as right. Question 2. In line 2, turn most nearly means what? Slight movement, change in rotation, short walk, course correction. So first let's go to line 2. Okay, here we have, this is our line 1, this is our line 2. 1, 2. Turn, this is our word. Question says, in line 2, turn means what? Okay, let's read the line first. Lady Carlotta stepped out onto the platform of the small wayside station and took a turn, or two up and down. So what is she doing? Taking a turn means she is walking, she is taking a stroll, a small walk, a short walk. So it means a short walk. We are given here a short walk. Okay. Okay, does it mean slight movement? No, it doesn't mean slight movement. It means when you just move your hand, move your leg. So it's not like that. She's walking and curving some steps. So slight movement is not right. Change in rotation. There is no rotation taking place. And she's not taking rounds also. Course correction. There is no course. Course means planned movement or any correction done there. So it's out of the context. And where do we see such lines? In line 2, that has already given. Okay, question 3. The passage most clearly implies that other people regarded Lady Carlotta as what? Outspoken, tactful, ambitious, unfriendly. The answer is outspoken. How and why? She is outspoken because she is very good at giving answers. And the line 10 to 14 also say so. 10 to 14, right? She is outspoken means she has this habit of, getting or interfering other people's things. So this is the point that advocates or supports the point where we can say Lady Carlotta is an outspoken lady. She is good at speech because she gets into other people's affairs. And this is the line where we can see doctrine of non-interference she has to put into practice. Okay, she's ambitious, she's unfriendly, tactful. We don't have any supportive statements for these, so we cannot say them as yes. But she is outspoken, and we also see some other yes in the passage here also. When she says, "Are you Miss Hope, the governess I'm looking for?" She says, "I must, I must." She is so outspoken. She is not even telling the real truth or the actual situation. Okay, next passage. Next question from the passage is, which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? Okay, it is relating to the previous question. How can you say that she is outspoken? So we will say this from lines 10 to 14. Where it is? Okay. Right. Certain. These are the lines 10 to 14 where we can find that she has this habit of interfering and she is outspoken. So they are asking about the lines we have to pick. 10 to 14, 20 to 23, 23 to 26, 30 to 32. So we'll read all these lines, but we know that we have got the answer from lines 10 to 14. The others say, let's read line 23. 23, on the occasion, she merely lost the train, which gave first sign of impatience. No, she is telling about impatience. She has she has that nature of being impatient. So this is not the line that supports that she's outspoken. Okay, the other line is 23 to 26. 23 here. 23. Okay, on this occasion, she merely. Okay, this is the same line where we don't find any supportive statement for Lady Miss Carlotta being outspoken. Okay, then unfriendly. Okay, we have 30 to 32 line number 32. Okay, this passage is from, let's read line. She till train. She is here and train is here. So in this line also, in this sentence also, we don't find any clue for Miss Carlota being outspoken. Here she has message, she has given a message to her destination. So this doesn't tell about she was outspoken. Yeah, she was intelligent, she was like quick in answering, she was good at decision making because she messaged her. So this is not about being outspoken. So this is how we have excluded the other options. Why these options? These are the lines that tell something about Miss Carlotta, but not about her being outspoken. This question is asking about this only. So these two questions are interrelated, right? Okay, let's read question 5 now. The description of how Lady Carlotta put the doctrine of non-interference into practice mainly serves to what? To provide a humorous insight into her character. Yes, because when the author is saying she is putting the doctrine of a non-interference, doctrine means principle. She is not making any principles, laws, or rules, but the author has brought this into the context, into the paragraph, just to bring a humorous touch to the passage, that she is giving one rule or one a policy of non-interference. Okay, so and we find this in line 15. Yes, this is line 15, doctrine of non-interference into practice, when one of the most eloquent exponents had been besieged. Besieged means surrounded for nearly 3 hours in a small, extremely uncomfortable May tree by an angry boar pig, while Carlotta, on the other side of the fence, had proceeded with the watercolor sketch she was engaged on, means she was working, she was coloring or painting at that point, and refused to interfere between the boar and his prisoner. Okay, so there was one like episode where boar and prisoners were involved, and his prisoner, only one prisoner was involved, and she like took part in that discussion. Okay, foreshadow her capacity for deception. Nowhere the author has said that she takes part into other people's affairs or matters just to deceive somebody. So we cannot say something from our side as well. So this is out. Illustrate the subtle cruelty in her nature. Is the author saying that she is cruel when she takes part or she tries to sort out other people's issues or problems? No, she is not cruel. Nothing has been said by the author. See, we know that it is right. Let's read D. Explain a surprising change in her behavior. This is not a surprising nature that we are trying to explain or the author is explaining, because we know that she has this habit of interfering in other people's matter. So no surprise is being shown here by the author. Okay, question 6 says, in line 55, charge most nearly means what? Responsibility, attack, fee, expense. Line 55 here. During the drive to the Quabal mansion, Lady Carlotta was impressively introduced to the nature of the charge that had been thrust upon her. So charge means the responsibility, the duties that she had to take care of. Responsibility. A is right. She is not talking about, the author is not talking about any attack. Charge is, she has not come to attack anybody. Fee, no monetary like segment described. Expense, no expenditure being described. So this is about the nature of the charge or the duty or the responsibility that she has to take care of. Miss Carlotta has to take care of. Question 7 says, the narrator indicates that Claude, Wilfred, Irene, and Viola. These are what? These are the names of 4 children from Quabal's family. They are similar to many of their peers, or they are unusually creative and intelligent. they are hostile to the idea of governance, or more educated than others of their age. If we look at these, we don't find any statement where it is said that they are more educated and highly learned people in the family. Hostile to the idea of a governance, they are not misbehaving with the governance. Unusually creative and intelligent, they are creative and intelligent. They can be, it's one of their traits, but unusually, it's not said by the author. Now, similar to many of their peers, yes, it is said. Many of their peers means many people from that era, from that decade, from that century, 20th century, and they are similar to those. Yes, they are. Where do we find 56 line or from 56 onwards? Okay, here we find. And that viola was something or other else more equally commonplace among children of that class and type in the 20th century, of that class, of that type in the 20th century. So this shows, this indicates that those people, those children were quite similar to the other children from the same era. So this is how we have got this answer. Question 8. The narrator implies that Ms. Quawal favors a form of education that emphasizes what? Traditional values, active engagement, artistic experimentation, or factual retention. So it means, what does Ms. Quawal say when she wants her children to be taught? What does she say to Lady Carlotta? That she should give traditional values to her children, or she should make the lessons or classes engaging actively engaging, or artistic experimentation or factual retention. So we know that she says that these to be, here we find in these lines. Yes, I wish them not only to be taught, said Miss Quawal, but interested in what they learn. In the history lessons, for instance, you must try to make them feel and learn what they are being introduced to, life stories of men and women who really lived, and merely committing a mass of names and dates to. So means she says that her classes, her sessions for her children should be highly interactive, and they should not only be centered upon learning or memorizing. So she wants active classes or active engagement, and we have seen this in line 62 onwards. Traditional values, no, she doesn't focus on traditional values to be given. No experimentation, artistic experiment, no factual retention. This is factual retention means when you learn, memorize facts, and she's against this. She says children should not only learn the dates and facts from the history. So this is totally against about her opinion. And we have got the right answer, which is B. So we have this right answer, which is B here, okay? Question 9 says, as presented in the passage, Miss Quawal is best described as what? Superficially kind and actually selfish, outwardly imposing but easily defined, socially successful but irrationally bitter, naturally generous but frequently imprudent. Okay. We know that it is right, outwardly imposing but easily defined. Why and how? Outwardly imposing means she is quite imposing in nature. And where do we find this word? Imposing. One character is imposing, one character is defined. So we have to look for these two words or their synonyms in the text. 77 to 82. Okay. From 77 onwards, we read, the least show of unexpected resistance goes a long way towards rendering them cowed and apologetic. When the new governess failed to express wondering admiration of the large, newly purchased and expensive car, and lightly alluded to the superior advantages of one or two makes which had just been put on the market, the discomfiture of a patroness became almost evident. So this is shown, okay, that we have one more supporting point for this. Okay, let's look for this imposing. We know that she is imposing nature from where? She is dressed imposingly. This is the word. Imposingly attired lady. Who is she? Miss Quawal only. So she is imposing in nature. Now, defied. Defied means when she can easily be disobeyed. And we have read somewhere that she is dominating until they are opposed or she is opposed. And this is here. They are autocratic, they are dominating as long as they are not seriously opposed. Opposed means disobeyed, means defied. So this is your second point, and this is your first point, imposing. This is how we have derived that this statement is correct for Miss Quabal's nature. Now, when we read the other traits, superficially kind but actually selfish, she is not being selfish anywhere. So, how can we say if the narrator or the author hasn't said? Okay, socially successful but irrationally bitter. No, nothing has been mentioned or made like any mention about this. Naturally generous but frequently imprudent. Imprudent means unwise. She is not unwise. So these are out. So what is correct is B. Okay, now coming to question number 10. Which choice provides the best evidence for the answer to the previous question? Okay. Is it line 49 where it is said how careless? Is it about line 62 onwards where it is said I wish? Or line 70, I shall? Or line 77, she was apologetic? If we are talking about the previous question, so it means it has to be from the lines we have just taken for our answer. So it is line 77 to 82, which is mentioned in D. So this is the right option, D. When we say that unless somebody opposes her, she is quite dominating. So we know that she is dominating or she is imposing, but easily defined, but can also be opposed. Easily means can also be. Okay. So this is our right answer, D. And what are the other lines saying? A, B, C. Let's also read them. 49. We have here. I have just telegraphed about it. How provoking, said Miss Quabal. So this is not telling anything that she is like can easily be defied or disobeyed or she is highly dominating. So how provoking doesn't explain that. Okay, line 62 says, I wish till memory. 62. Okay, I wish them not only to be taught, said Miss Quabal, but interested in what they learn. So this is not telling about Miss Quabal being dominating or she is being very imposing. She is just telling about her children's lessons, how these lessons or sessions should be. Okay, so this is not supporting. However, this point we have to look for the lines from these four lines or four options which are supporting these 2 points, these two traits of Miss Wawal. Now it's line 73, 70 to 73. I shall. Line 70. I shall talk French 4 days of the week and Russian in the remaining 3. So here, this is Russian, my dear Miss Hope. No one in the house speaks or understands Russian. So this is about I shall Russian line. Here, Miss Kabal is not dominating. She is just telling that we do not speak this language in our house. So this is not showing that she's imposing. She's not imposing anything here. Okay, so we have got all the questions done. And we have also completed this session, this passage today. And we'll be doing more questions in the next session. Thank you.